wanted to tell you some stories about kittens. When I was a kid, I remember getting my first cat. This cat's name was, I can't even remember right now, Whiskey, I think, like that. I think that was a Whiskey cat. And I remember the kids are sitting around, and we just used to like hold those little itty bitty cats, so much. And then what happened is when they got a little older, we didn't want to hold them like that, and they didn't really want it either. You know what I mean? So they liked being pet though, and they liked purring and stuff like that. They were very, 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 very good cats. And so this was, Whisk, and have to do videos about. It really doesn't have to do a lot, except for that you just went into a deep trance, didn't you? And you might be wondering, well, what's the purpose of this trance? Is it to buy new cats? Is it to pull out my credit card and buy something? Is it to send you money? You might be wondering that, and you might actually be wondering why you'd want to send me money in the first place. It's because I will never let you down, right? I will never let you down. And actually, let me explain. So I wrote an article, and the link is below, where I said, hey, I'm looking for $100,000 and capital 35% return. And then I've got some responses back. And then, somebody was like, I'd be interested in, see about it, right? So he didn't even want the money back. And so, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to raise, I'm going to go raise $1 million, and that'll be for company operating expenses and stuff like that. And so we're going to go and we're going to go and kind of like fix our brand and stuff like that. But then what we're going to do is we're going to build a series of offices, one in Costa Rica for our international headquarters. Our national headquarters will probably be in Orem, Utah, or it could be in Salt Lake. It could be in St. George. I don't know. I might do St. George. I really like it right guy here, but I think there's a bigger talent pool up near BYU. I think that's the best talent pool there is, to be honest with you. The most talented people I ever met when I was there. They're very talented people. And you always want talent. Why do you want talent when you're building an organization? Let me explain talent. Talent is like something good talent. What else is talent? Dance talent, right? Now, so here's the thing that just happened is basically the abilities that I had before. So, I'm going to manifest a whole bunch more. Now, I have a link to the post that got, and also the audio that you can download, which is also on the Google Play Store at the moment. And yeah. So in any case, you can go listen to that audio. Give me your feedback. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'd love to hear. So what am I going to do with that money? Well, I'll be able to do a lot. I'll be able to really build a business. That's go to Costa Rica, obviously. And the majority of the funds will be on building the business. And so then we go rent a house. And then near their best school, whatever Costa Rica's best school is, we rent a house that's decently close to that. And what we do is we get college girls working out of the house, right? And the reason why that's going to be attractive is because they get to come hang out, they bring their girlfriends, and then they bring all the guys they know and whatever like that, and then we get all the talent because of the women, right? This is the way that you build talent. So some stock when I'm taking the company public. By the way, I just restored all the content from the way back machine. Working about getting a quote back from one of the domain hosting companies that I'm working with. I won't mention the name. I'm transferring the domains over there. So I'm going to transfer them to a more secure, cheaper, better solution than what I was doing before. So anyway, I'm going to transfer the domains, okay, and make sure they're secured and everything like that. Then I'm going to take the Empower Network content, and I'm going to simply take the Empower Network content and just basically put it back on the site. Okay. take the Empower Network content and put it back on the site, right? And that is going to just start getting traffic because all those links in them. Google love that content. It's all very unique content. I've got all the comments. And it's going to take me a little bit to get that into WordPress so it'll be editable for people, right? I won't be able to do that until the company has a little bit of money. I'll have to build a software for it probably to convert it all because it'll be HTML files. And then there's a bunch of information coming out in my secret sales video that I've been working on actually for a couple of days. And it's a modification of one that I already made, but it's just a much better flow and it's more targeted towards it's actually pretty much 99.9% of the targeting is towards customers only, right? And the reason is because if you can't sell the product, you don't have business, right? What kind of business is it if you can't sell the product? If you can't get customers, what kind of business do you have? You don't have a business, right? So think about it like Bill Gates, right? Bill Gates, when he had the vision for Microsoft, right? Think about Bill Gates when he had the vision for Microsoft. Think about Bill Gates for a second when he had the vision for Microsoft, and he invited some people into his garage. Those in his garage are all billionaires today. What would it be like if you were in the garage with jet? Maybe you'd have, like a house up in the Aspens. Maybe you'd have a house up in Alaska. Maybe you'd have a house down in Hawaii. Maybe you'd have all three. I think you'd have all three, maybe out in the Bahamas too, or whatever, wherever people are avoiding tax or whatever. Maybe you'd have one there. I don't know what kind of person you are. My point is that when you get in early, when you decide to get in early, when basically you get in early because it's urgent, then what's going to happen to you is you're going to go into a deep trance as you're making a new decision to do something that's going to give you value in your business. And what kind of value is it going to bring? Well, I think that I know that I am a bringer of value. Okay. That's basically give. Because when you give without asking anything in return, what happens is you give out to the universe and then that giving comes back to you, right? That giving comes out to you, right? So here's the deal that I want all of you to really understand. I want you to read this as you're thinking about when I'm living in a green 1996 Dodge Caravan, and I'm parked on these beaches. Now, I really love being homeless. We decided to go down there and to live in Hawaii. You know what I mean? It's a beautiful story. You know what I mean? And then we go down there and we're living in a van down by the river. And I used to climb. One time I was climbing up a coconut tree, and there's a coconut there, right? And then I pulled out this knife thing and I cut the coconut, and it fell on me and it knocked me all the way down into the water with a knife. I was like, you know what I mean? I was like, I'm glad that I'm alive from that, right? I'm glad that I'm alive from that. But in any case, one of the things I've learned this last year from me being really irresponsible for my time, for I think a majority of the year, because I wasn't really doing things carefully in a way that was focused on prosperity and focused on making money. And of course, this is my King David channel. So if I'm going to mention King David stuff, just look at what the Torah says about prosperity. Okay. I don't even need to talk about it. Just go look it up. Abraham was blessed in all things. You know what I mean? He was prospered in all things, and everything he did prospered. Why was he blessed? Right. And it wasn't just him, Jacob and, or whatever, and Ishmael, and a lot of these people that were characters, they were really blessed all the time. That's what life is all about. Life is all about the expansion of blessing. Life is all about the expansion of your personal self-image. Life is all about the station of your needs, wants, and your desires from the creative universe into this universe. Life is all about loving your wife and loving your children and loving your husband and loving your children and loving your aunts and your uncles and your parents, really honoring your parents. I think the parents are the most important things there are. Actually, I'm going to tell you guys something here. There's one time I was driving around in my car, Prospect, so stressed out. when I'd walk up and approach people for like years, you know what I mean? And then I just like, I got over it because I didn't really understand how to network, right? So I was very stressed out about it because it always do. There's these prospect lines, and then people wouldn't pick up the phone because they just tell that I wanted something because I wasn't building relationships, right? I wasn't asking questions and really listening to them. I was telling them what I want. I wasn't talking to them about what they want, right? So in any case, what happens is that I'm driving around, and then I drive up to this mall, and this is out in up in Glendale Avenue and like 51st or something like that. There's a mall around there in Arizona, and I drive out there, this mall, and then I go inside. And when I go inside, I see this guy dressed in a suit when everybody else was dressed down. So I walked up, reached out my hand, and I said, "You seem like a sharp person. You keep your business options open?" He says, "I do." Now, so this guy, check this out. This guy, like I went to show him the plan, and he wouldn't let me go to his house to show it with him and his wife, which is what you're supposed to do. Because he wanted to check me out or whatever first. And then I showed him the plan. "Is this Amway?" And I was like, "No." He's like, "God." I said, "What are you talking about?" And this guy, he was like, "I've been praying for months that God would send me somebody to sponsor me into Amway again." Oh, a lot to be thankful for when you're building your business, right? When you're building your business, there's a lot to be thankful for. Attract what you got, attract the money that you've got, extract, which is the stupidest thing that I've ever done. Because what I could have done is I could have just gone out and get a job, gotten $1,000, and but the job was really for me. I thought what I needed to do was I needed to go out there because my wife told me, she's like, "I think you should get a job or something." You know what I mean? And then build this back up slow or whatever, right? And I was like, "I'm not going to get a job. I'm a business owner." You know what I mean? And then I made some mistakes. But the reality is if I would have had a cash injection, I could have been real wise with my resources like what I'm doing now. And I'd have money coming in left. Nonsense. Excuse-itis is the failure disease. That's what I learned. And I think the magic of thinking big says that, right? That excuse-itis is the failure disease. You have excuse-itis, like a disease, the failure disease. And if you don't get rid of that disease, it's not going to help your businesses succeed like you want them to succeed. But what it's going to do is the opposite of that. So what you want to do is you want to cure yourself from excuse-itis. Well, how do you do that? Right. So, again, we're looking for investments. I'm like, I'll tell you what, I'll work with you no matter where you're at. I'm going to go to Costa Rica, and I'm going to get the sales team going in Costa Rica because they're very good at phone sales, and they're also very good at working with Colombians who are also very good at phone sales. And then I'll go from there, and then I'll go down to Colombia, programming 1 million hot women in Colombia. I'll tell you that. And like 1 million of them, right? They're all perfect there. Actually, all women are perfect. I think that very understand that women are just perfect just the way they are, aren't they? I mean, they're just so beautiful. They're so kind. They're so loving. They have so many good qualities about them. When they're treated, if you don't forgive yourself, you're not a man. So in any case, this money's coming soon. So this is urgent. Time's running out. And really what it's like is one time, it's like there's this race and there's all these people running in the race. And then all of a sudden, Ian hits the finish line, right? He races in front of everyone and he hits the finish line, right? He races in front of everyone and she races in front of everyone and she hits the finish line before them all. Maybe she beats all the men for the first time. Or maybe not the first time. Women are very fast many times. So are men. So my point with all of this is time to get started. So here's what we're going to do next. You're going to send me an email to DMW. So go ahead and send an email now to dmw@empowernetwork.com and just say, okay, can we work together? Just go ahead and send an email now to dmw@empowernetwork.com. Now,